Welcome to the Superhumanistic podcast, where we talk about all things health and wellness. We decode the science of longevity, wellness, and peak human performance without the fluff. Thank you for joining us today. We are your hosts, David and Jessica. Make sure you hit that follow button on this podcast so you never miss another episode. We put out one episode a week every Saturday. Also, make sure that you follow Superhumanistic on YouTube and on Instagram for more health and wellness information. Last week, we talked about the bad habits that are leading to quicker aging. So if you want to learn how to preserve yourself to age less quickly, go back and listen to last week's episode. This week, we are going to be talking about a topic that's not discussed too often that I've heard of, but it's basically related to the fact that dehydration could be causing your anxiety, could be triggering it. So before you reach for supplements or start Googling breathing techniques, you might want to check your water bottle first, because the truth is your anxiety might be thirstier than you think. So the link between that is really the basics. I think everybody knows that your brain is about 75% water. It's not just trivia or anything like that. So when you're dehydrated, your body literally shrinks in volume. Blood flows slowly, electrolyte balance shifts, and your nervous system starts misfiring like a Tesla on a low battery. This can lead to symptoms that mimic or amplify anxiety. So this could be a racing heart, brain fog, irritability, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. So if you've experienced any of those symptoms before, that could be leading to your panic attacks or high stress moments. So we're going to jump into some more information about that.
Yeah, so as my husband was saying, our brain is 75% water. So there's no surprise that when we don't drink enough water, our brain is not able to function properly. And that's what leads to like those mood and behavior changes. I start to get headaches. Even this past week, some of my colleagues were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think I'm okay, yeah." But I noticed like my mood was different. Even today, my mood's been a little like sluggish, and I know I have a lot of meetings coming up at work this next week. So I just like, my mind's not thinking about drinking water, and I haven't drank a lot of water today. So that's probably why I'm feeling some more anxiety than what I normally would feel. So not drinking enough water does cause those electrolyte imbalances. So electrolyte imbalances means that we would have like higher sodium or lower sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Those are all the nutrients that make up electrolytes that help our brains to be able to function and our bodies to be able to function properly. So then that interferes with our brain signaling to our bodies like how to go, how to move, to be calm, and that's what contributes to anxiety. So less water also means that our heart rate and blood pressure is going to increase. So then those symptoms of anxiety start to creep in as well. So obviously, if your heart rates increase, then you are but like that's a symptom of anxiety is a high increased heart rate. So that's why then with your heart rate being increased with the lack of water, that and then having that symptom of anxiety, you become even more anxious. So it's just a full cycle there. So then we also would have decreased brain energy when we are not drinking enough water. So that leads to that fatigue and then again, anxiety. So once we get tired, then we start to get behind on what we needed to do for the day. So then we're just like lower energy, but then increased anxiety. And then our stress response. So with us, our brains being dehydrated, our bodies being dehydrated, it triggers our body's stress response. So those hormones like cortisol are rising, and our adrenaline also rises. So with those hormones being released, our body can't like regulate itself. So then we feel more anxious, and again, the dehydration, it contributes to then having more anxiety. I feel like this is something like I struggle with a lot because, especially at work throughout the day, I'm like, I lost my water bottle this week and was like, I already lost my new water bottle. And so my husband's like, really? You just bought that? And I was like, I know. He's like, it has to be somewhere under the seat or something. And I'm like, nope, definitely lost it. Thankfully, I found it, but like, obviously with me placing it and I'm talking throughout the day a lot, so then not drinking as much as I should. So that's contributes to my like Friday really bad mood, low energy, and super stressed. I feel like, do you feel the same? Like when you're working, like it's hard to keep up with the drinking of water?
Yeah, you definitely got to stay hydrated and just kind of keep it in your mind and make sure you're sipping on that water throughout the day. Because, yeah, just as little as 1 to 2% loss of body water can really impact your mood and cognition. And the kicker is you don't even really necessarily need to feel thirsty to be dehydrated. So it's very important that even if you're not necessarily feeling thirsty, that you're still continuing on with staying hydrated throughout your day.
Yeah.
And, some common causes of dehydration as well are going to be caffeine or alcohol, which are both diuretics. Intense workouts without the proper fluid replacement. So especially if you're doing cardio, sweating out a lot, definitely want to make sure that you're replacing that with some water. Traveling, I know when we travel, we can become hydrated, especially if you're flying on a plane. You got to kind of time out your bathroom breaks a little bit there. Make sure you're not getting too hydrated before you jump on a plane, because it's probably going to be a pretty good amount of time before you'll have the opportunity to use the bathroom. I know people that drive as well will do the same thing, kind of make sure they're not taking in too much fluids so they don't have to stop for too many bathroom breaks. But again, that's bad for you. High sodium diets, and as you mentioned, just kind of forgetting to drink throughout the day because you're busy. So if you're prone to that, dehydration can act like a gasoline when it comes to the fire of anxiety. So several studies have shown that dehydration increases cortisol, the stress hormone as you were mentioning. It can also decrease serotonin, that feel-good neurotransmitter that people have. And then one study from the University of Connecticut found that even mild dehydration led to increased tension, anxiety, and fatigue in healthy young people. Another study showed that athletes who lost just 2% of their body weight in fluids had significantly higher perceived stress and confusion. So, the translation there, your water intake just isn't about physical health, it's also about your emotional resilience as well. So, some hacks there. What do we got to do to fix it?
Well, obviously, drink more water. Important, good hack.
Key point.
I keep a water bottle, have water bottle with me today. So make sure that you keep your water bottle nearby, and something like I switched from a cap that I had to twist off to just now having a straw. So that made it a little easier for me to be able to drink throughout the day. Avoid sugary drinks and caffeine. I know we try our best to limit it, and we do actually, not just try our best, we do limit our caffeine to twice a day, and sometimes not even that, but for sure in the morning when we wake up, we'll enjoy a cup of coffee, and then sometimes in the afternoon, most of the time in the afternoon, we enjoy a second cup, but always are mindful of like what time it is in the afternoon with that. Eating foods that are rich in electrolytes, so our fruits and veggies, whole grains, and that's what I have.
As you mentioned, make sure that you're drinking at least about 16 to 20 ounces of water within 30 minutes of waking up. You just slept 7 to 9 hours, hopefully, without any fluids, so you definitely need it. You mentioned the drinking and certain different products. Electrolytes are important, so you can also use a pinch of salt or purchase some electrolyte tablets online, especially if you're sweating. That'd be a good opportunity to utilize those. You can track it. Make sure you get a water bottle that kind of shows how much you're drinking each day. You're wanting to aim for about half of your body weight in ounces each day. And if you're active, you're going to need more than that, so keep that in mind. You mentioned eating your water. That's important too. You can get a lot of water from foods like cucumbers, watermelons, oranges, soups. So that's another opportunity as well to hydrate. And then also timing is important. You don't want to just chug a liter of water all at once. That's not going to help because your body can't really absorb it that quickly, so you want to spread it out throughout the day. So I think the bottom line here, anxiety can be very complex. If you are experiencing anxiety, you certainly should reach out to a doctor or a trained specialist as well. But this is one good place to really start at. Make sure that you're hydrating properly before as well in combination with other things. But that's one important step to start with because it can be often overlooked. So before you assume that your anxiety is purely psychological, you want to ask yourself, have I had enough water today? And make sure that you're replenishing yourself. Because sometimes the path to calmness isn't through your mind, it's through your cells. So thank you for tuning in to Superhumanistic. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who always has anxiety going on, and that could maybe help them as well. Maybe also make sure that maybe you get them a water bottle for their next gift. So, if you want more science-backed strategies for living longer, feeling better, and really performing like a superhuman, hit that subscribe button on this podcast. Until next time, stay hydrated, stay grounded, and stay superhumanistic.
Bye.